Has it been a while since you've had an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or even a handcrafted cocktail? Well, if so, the Damn Landing is the place to be. The Damn Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou that focuses on freshness and quality. On the weekends, they have the Damn Smoke, which features barbecue and fantastic steaks. In addition to those, you can wash it down with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking the fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area, whether it be by boat or by wheels, the Damn Landing is the place to be. Located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester, Indiana. Psst. Are you tired of your golf glove not being comfortable and durable? Are you tired of going through way too many golf gloves a year? Well, folks, the secret is out with Circle 15 Golf. Circle 15 Golf is a brand focused on bringing truer quality products and experience to the everyday golfer, like you and me. It's built on 25 years of tour experience, featuring the Genesis glove, the most durable and comfortable glove available, and the patented Glove Hub, the first and only glove humidor on the market. Find them and more details at circle15golf.com. And folks, just listen to that Velcro snap on the Genesis. Don't take my word for it. Go get one yourself and see why it is the most durable, comfortable glove on the market today. And get yourself a Glove Hub, ball marker, divot repair tool, Circle 15 hat while you're at it. Circle15golf.com.
Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC for fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and check out their website, noblegnomellc.com.
Are you looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting? Proforma Printhouse has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company, and give them a call today at 574-210-3815, or email Barbara VanWynsberghe at barbara.vanwynsberghe@proforma.com. Trust me, folks, I've been working with this company for a while. They got great products. Anything you need for your trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, they got it. Any promotional products you can think of, great quality, great customer service. Give them a call today. You won't be disappointed. 574-210-3815.
The J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week is brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Wottring for life, home, auto, renters, business, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.wottring@infb.com.
The Word Association segment is brought to you by Rhett Lee, attorney at law. Rhett Lee and the law office of Andrew Key LLC are located at 206 4th Street in Logansport, Indiana. Rhett provides legal services to the people of North Central Indiana and practices criminal defense, family law, and personal injury. If you need a lawyer who cares about your results and will fight for you, give him a call today to schedule a free consultation at 574-722-2221. What's up, Tan and J-Man Show Nation? This is Tanner Lee, one half of the Tan and J-Man Show, and on behalf of myself and my co-host Josh the J-Man Munt, we want to thank you for listening to our podcast. While you're at it, on whatever platform you're listening on, please hit that subscribe button, and if it happens to be on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review. That really helps us out. If you're interested in watching our show is recorded live every Monday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch that on the ISC Sports Network, on the free ISC Sports Network app, on the ISC Sports Network Facebook page, and their Twitter page. While you're at it, on those social media channels, please give us a like on our Facebook page. Please give us a follow on our Twitter and Instagram page at Tan and J-Man Show. And if you want to support our podcast and look great doing so, we have a merchandise store. You can go to any of our social media pages, click the link, click Tan and J-Man Show store, and you'll find whatever you're looking for. Short sleeve t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, coffee mugs, you name it, we got it. So thanks again for supporting the podcast. Now sit back, relax, and here comes another exciting brand new episode of the Tan and J-Man Show. It's Monday night. You know what that means. Another brand new episode of the Tan and J-Man Show, episode 233 to be exact. I'm Tanner Lee, along with my co-host Josh the J-Man Munt. What's going on this gloomy, rainy Monday, J-Man?
This is going to be the warmest day for a while. Might as well enjoy it.
It was a nice weekend.
Yeah, very nice weekend. A little windy, but no, you got some golf in.
Got some golf in, got sunburned. Nothing like early May sunburn. But no, no complaints about the weather lately and until today. But yeah, like you said, it's going to be a little chilly in the end of the rest of the week. But we'll get back up there.
We'll see.
Eventually, it might take a week or two, but we'll get up there. But a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of NFL draft coverage.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you watched majority of the picks on Thursday and Friday.
I streamed the whole first round on our 10 J-Man Show Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube page. So you can go watch it on any of those three. It's a complete 4 hours of coverage.
4 hours of tremendous scouting breakdowns.
No, I wouldn't call it that.
7 out of 32 picks, right?
I got 7 out of 7 to begin. I was pretty excited. Yeah. My goal was 6, so I beat my goal.
Got your goal.
But yeah, I missed on the last 25, which I knew I had a problem when we hit the 9th or 10th pick because guys were getting picked that I had picked like 3 picks later. I'm like, this is going to all kind of just be a domino effect. But it was fun. Looking forward to doing it again next year. The mock draft, not sure about the stream. Maybe if I can get you or one of our other friends to hop on, maybe it won't be as taxing.
A little smoother.
But I do appreciate everybody who did pop in and popped in with some comments. That definitely made it more enjoyable for me and hopefully more entertaining for you all to watch. And
what I watched, they did a sensational job.
I appreciate it.
You ready to hear a Birdie Bogey question?
Yeah, I'm ready to get a birdie and extend my lead.
Nikola Jokic.
I like him.
Ranks top 5 in points, rebounds, and assists this season. Only 2 players have ever done this. Can you name those 2 players? Boy. It's a tough one.
NBA ones are always hard because so many legends come to mind.
I will say you have a decent shot at a par and an incredibly difficult shot at a birdie. So
decent shot at par, incredible.
Decent shot at par. Real tough to get a birdie this week.
All right.
But Nikola Jokic ranks top 5 in points, rebounds, and assists. Only 2 other players have done this. Who are they?
Yeah, I'm going to need that repeated at the end of the show, I'm sure.
It. Another fun fact that came with the trivia question, Kawhi Leonard, who should return sometime, I think he might have returned on Saturday, actually. He's on pace to be the first Clipper ever to average 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists.
I believe it. I mean, look at the Clippers' history. I mean,
not great.
No, and their best players were like Chris Paul and Blake Griffin.
Yeah, none of those guys. Blake wouldn't have probably gotten the assists, and Paul probably not the rebounds.
Nope.
Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC for fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram. Check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. Membership sign up for their CSA membership will close it closed Sunday, actually. May 2nd. I keep thinking it's May 1st today.
I can't believe it's May already.
I know. May 2nd, 2021. You missed out if you didn't sign up on their favorite prime seasoned vegetables from July through September. Sweet corn, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, onions, potatoes, etc. Their new monthly payment option. The program's only $216 a month. Program timeline, July 8th through September 9th. If you have any questions, you can ask them on their Facebook page, Noble Gnome. Probably message them on Instagram, or you can check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. So you know what that is. It's time to get your veggies.
It's time to get your veggies, and I could use some clean eating right now.
Tanner likes his fried food.
My fast food.
He needs to wash it down with some more veggies. I know I do. But get your veggies.
Well, to make a long story short, I didn't eat much for lunch today. I actually just snacked on some pretzels. Wasn't real hungry. But I knew come dinner time I was going to be pretty hungry before the podcast. So Josh and I, like we do pretty much every Monday, we hurried up, went through fast food, and we went to Burger King. And I even told Josh, watch this. This is going to be a food order. Got 20 chicken nuggets, a double cheeseburger, a medium onion ring, medium French fry. Ate it all.
It was impressive.
Don't feel the greatest.
There is no part of me that would ever want to try that, for one, from Burger King, because I just feel like the moment I finished it, every artery would just close. Or yes.
Don't put that scary thought in my head.
On me, anyway. I can eat, but definitely not that much.
I've tried kind of ridiculous, stupid fast food orders like that in the past and never have accomplished one. So,
wish you would have got it on video. That would have brought the ladies of town for you there, Tanner.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have been. If that was the case, I would have done something like this a long time ago.
Long time ago.
But I'm pretty full, but I got my bottle of water here and ready to go.
Got to hydrate.
Ready to go.
What do you want to start with tonight?
Whatever you want to start with.
I say let's start with the NFL draft here.
Let's do that.
What were your thoughts?
On the draft overall, my team.
Your draft overall, your team.
I mean, the draft overall at the beginning, I thought the coverage was really boring and slow.
Yeah. One thing I will say, the Jaguars have known they were going to take Trevor Lawrence since probably April of last year, let's be honest. And they took the whole 10 minutes before they
My guess is they were told to.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
But that's annoying.
Well, that's what I complained about the most was the teams taking so long and the commercial breaks being long. And I was rooting for teams out loud to pull Minnesota Vikings and not get their pick in. Raiders. Them or Chargers. I forget which one I was hoping they would. But, no, I still found it enjoyable. I love the draft every year, especially the first round. I think everybody was just anticipating getting to the third pick. Mm-hmm. San Francisco. Were they going to go Trey Lance? Were they going to go Mac Jones? And the dominoes will fall afterwards. Because the first two picks were pretty much set in stone. So that's why it was like, come on. So then pick 3 on was pretty entertaining.
It was pretty entertaining. The first 2 picks, it seems like, are always spot on.
Yeah.
Besides that year, the Bears traded up to number 2 to take Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
That was a shock. But definitely this year, the first 2 picks were set. As you said, who knew? I mean, Trey Lance got a lot of buzz for about 2 days before the draft, up until the draft. But still, you never know until the pick's actually taken. And then Atlanta was a real intriguing pick. Are they going to go quarterback the future? They're going to go best pass catcher in the draft, Kyle Pitts. They ultimately took Kyle Pitts, and then Jamar Chase gets paired up with his buddy there, Joe Burrow, in Cincinnati. Instead of going Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater, they take a pass catcher, which I don't necessarily think they really needed.
Well, I think they did need a wide receiver like that.
Eventually.
I mean, they got T. Higgins.
Tyler Boyd.
Still
there.
Yeah, those two. But that's it. No more A.J. Green. In this draft was so tackle heavy, you could get good tackles in the second round. That's probably what they banked on.
You could say the same thing about wide receivers.
You're right.
It was one of the best wide receiver drafts ever. They could have gotten like a Rondale Moore type in the middle of the second round.
But they obviously wanted a bigger, more deep threat.
And I'm sure Burrow was like, "Hey, please,
absolutely, yeah, some pull.
Please take Chase."
Yeah. And then 6 was your Dolphins. Went speed. You said they needed speed, and they went speed. Jalen Waddle.
Needed team speed. They got the most explosive player in the draft. He's fast. His size is definitely a concern. He was the first wide receiver taken in the top 10, 5'10" or shorter since Tavon Austin with the Rams a few years ago. That was probably 8-9 years ago.
At least,
maybe even 10 years ago. Yeah. And he didn't work out. Waddle has great hands, though. He's a really good route runner, and as I said, he's just explosive. He can return kicks and punts, which they need a guy like that. He'll just be great in the slot for him. You pair him with Devontae Parker and Will Fuller, and they also have Preston Williams there. He just made complete sense. And, of course, after the Dolphins pick, it was always Dolphins had him number 1, their number 1 wide receiver. I don't know if that was true or not. They could just be saying that. But I knew leading up to the draft that they really, really liked him, and ultimately I'm pretty happy with it.
Number 7, Detroit, I didn't know what they're going to go. Where they going to get Penei Sewell to give Jared Goff some protection? Where they going to give Jared Goff a weapon? Because they don't have too many weapons there. They went with the tackle who one GM, anonymous, said that he was the only sure Hall of Famer out of this draft class. Already called him a Hall of Famer.
Jeez, that's a little extreme. I know, like, coming into the season this past year, Sewell was considered like a top 2 draft prospect. You usually see that from guys that are obviously going to be a pretty dang safe pick there. Last time I heard a GM say something like that was when the Seattle Seahawks took, I think his name was Aaron Curry. He's a linebacker out of Wake Forest. Yes. And he was not a good player at all. But, yeah, Penei Sewell, obviously really, really good offensive lineman.
Yes. I think it was a good pick by Detroit. Number 8, Carolina. That was interesting because Some people thought maybe they would go quarterback or defensive back or Micah Parsons. Maybe they went defensive back and J.C. Horn. I think a lot of people thought Patrick Surtain would be the first corner taken off or first defensive back taken off the board, but it was J.C. Horn. And then the Denver Broncos at 9, Justin Fields was there available, Mac Jones, Micah Parsons, even Rashad Slater. But they went cornerback as well with Patrick Surtain, which I had him mocked there, I think, in my first mock draft, I think I had him, and then Parsons in the second one, and then Mac Jones in my third one. But so they passed on taking a quarterback. Trust me, my Twitter was blowing up. Then the Cowboys, who wanted Patrick Surtain, it wasn't really a secret. They trade back to 12, trade with one of their NFC East division rivals to jump their other NFC East division rival. So the Eagles jump the Giants and take Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama, Heisman Trophy winner. So we saw 3 wide receivers go in top 10.
4 wide receivers go.
Who did that? No. Chase, Waddle, and Smith.
Yeah, I was thinking Pitts. J.C. Horn, go back to him. He was flying up draft boards. Starting really last month, and he ended up going 8th. Pat Surtain, his dad was a great defensive back with the Miami Dolphins, and he played a little with the Chiefs. Yep. He obviously has the great bloodlines, and he had a great workout at his pro day.
Well, JC's dad's Joe.
Horn. Yeah, great bloodlines there as well. Yep. Devontae Smith, as we talked about last week, weighed in at 166 pounds. But great route runner, great hands. He can jump. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but Philadelphia Eagles have needed wide receiver help forever. On draft night, they were saying all the receivers they took in the past, I think it was 4 drafts in the first 2 rounds, and all of them were worse than the guys taken directly after them. Bears, jumping way up to number 11 to take a quarterback. Justin Fields had to do it. Ryan Pace, I know he traded a first-rounder next year. He doesn't know if he's going to even be there next year, so he got desperate and traded up.
My guess is this solidifies him and Nagy being there one more year.
I don't know, man.
I bet it does.
If they go 4-12.
Well, if they go 4-12, but I don't think Fields starts day one. I think this is more a bridge. I think it's Andy Dalton plays, and if that's the case, that makes more of a case for those two coming back than if you load everything up, said, okay, 2022, if we don't make the playoffs, we're definitely gone.
If both of those guys are back, if they don't make the playoffs, Soldier Field might burn to the ground.
I'm just saying what I've been hearing on the talk shows.
They hate them. But again, Pace had to make this move because he, of course, doesn't know if he's going to be there next year, and he trades a
Pace inherited in Nagy. They inherited, maybe not Pace, but Nagy inherited Trubisky.
Yes, Pace is the one that traded up for Trubisky. Yeah. Traded
Nagy
up one spot, and Nagy inherited.
But now Nagy did go out and want Nick Foles.
Yeah, and that ended up being disastrous.
$9 million still on the books right now.
And Andy Dalton's getting paid
$10 million.
10. Yeah, that's
$19 million right there for reserves, and nobody wants Foles. So,
are they just going to release him?
I presume they probably will and eat the $9 million.
Gonna have to. You can't have 3 quarterbacks like that on the roster.
No.
As we said, Cowboys traded back. Took Micah Parsons.
Perfect fit for their defense.
Paired Parson with Jalen Smith. Phenomenal line. And they have that Van Der Esch as well. I mean, that's a pretty dang good linebacker.
Skip Bayless says it makes some Super Bowl contenders.
I hate that guy. Why does anyone listen to that idiot?
I saw
he is the dumbest son of a gun. We do a far better job, say far smarter stuff, and we're getting paid millions upon millions less than him.
Upon millions upon millions upon
millions.
millions.
Upon millions. I hate that guy.
Yeah. Why does Fox Sports 1 always have the hateable guys? Skip, Colin, Clay Travis?
Yeah. For some reason, I think people will want to tune into that. People aren't tuning into that.
Which people, their ratings are a little bit down compared to ESPN, but I think they're number 2 right behind ESPN there for sports daytime talk shows.
They are number 2, but they're so far
gonna be
from ESPN that it's not even a competition.
Which ESPN's losing viewership all the time.
Mm-hmm. I think people are just kind of cutting the cord with cable, kind of stuff like that. Getting rid of ESPN, going to streaming. You have ISC Sports Network. You can stream it on the app, stream it on Facebook. I think more people are doing that kind of stuff. San Diego Chargers took Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. Los Angeles Travel did it again after you asked me who. How many years has it been now? 4?
Yeah.
Los Angeles Chargers of Carson, not even a Carson City anymore. Los Angeles Chargers of Inglewood took Rashawn Slater,
good
offensive
pick.
lineman. Yeah, really good pick. They needed to get Justin Herbert some offensive line help. He was kind of running for his life last year. They have really good offensive line now. That's a top 10 kind of player that they got at 13, so really good pick there. New York Jets, so I thought had a really good first day. Took Elijah Vera Tucker.
I was
out of
surprised.
USC.
I thought he was going to be more towards 20, but
On
he can play all the positions. That's the thing about him. He can play.
Mel
across the
Kiper
line.
had him as the 13th overall
Yeah.
player. So it's not a reach
No.
by any stretch. It's kind of tough taking a guard that early, though, because you can usually get those guys late.
Might play tackle in the pros, though.
Yeah, I guess he could.
He could play right tackle and Beckton play left.
He has a marginal length for a tackle prospect. His ceiling is much higher at guard.
Oh, there you go.
But again, Jets probably start him at tackle because the Jets like to play guys out of position.
New coach. Maybe he's not as crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's a really smart coach, Robert Saleh. Number 15, the New England Patriots took an really interesting draft choice here in Mac Jones.
Fell right in their lap. That's what makes me mad. They didn't have to move for him.
Didn't have to move for him.
Fell
Yep.
right in their lap. So I think he fits what New England likes their quarterbacks to be.
He has
Reads the field well, accurate.
he has Tom Brady type athleticism.
Yeah.
Not the fastest guy in the world. Doesn't have six-pack abs. Kind of looks like Brady did coming out of college, but smart. Obviously played in a pro-style system. It did help that he had insane weapons all across his college team, as did Tua Tagovailoa, though. But no one knocked him for that, neither they are for Mac Jones.
And the thing I got thinking about, when they're comparing Jones and Trey Lance, I thought it was interesting. I heard somebody on Sirius XM on the NFL channel bring this up. You would almost rather go Mac Jones as far as competition, even in practice. He went against the scout team of Alabama, who's got guys that are probably better than what Trey Lance faced at the FCS level.
Absolutely.
It's like, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Absolutely.
But so we'll see. I think he'll be starter before the end of the season. I think Cam crashes and burns.
Especially if Cam has any sort of season like he did this past year. If he starts off, they're 1-3 after 4 games. I think you have to make the switch.
Because Patriots are built. I mean, they made a lot of big offseason
spent
moves.
a lot of money.
They're getting like 8 guys back who sit out last year. They should be maybe right there on the playoff bubble. But if Cam plays well, though,
that's the question. And of course, you can't put all your chips in a rookie quarterback to take it to the playoffs, especially a guy like Mac Jones who really only has a year and a half worth of starting experience. But I mean, that's a really good pick.
Yeah, it frustrates me that they didn't have to move up and give up any picks,
especially a guy or a team that plays in my team's division.
Yes,
that does not help. Arizona Cardinals took outside linebacker Zaven Collins. Don't have a whole lot
draft, but he showed up at the pro day 270 pounds. Linebacker.
He's gonna have to probably drop some weight.
Man, big boy.
It looks like he might be like a 3-4 outside linebacker.
He's a beast at Tulsa.
Rush the quarterback. Supposedly he has really good skills to be like a cover linebacker.
Oh, you take him 16th. I mean,
you're expecting him to start right away. Oakland. Ooh.
I was waiting for you to do
that.
Las
Vegas Raiders absolutely reached with the 17th pick. Took Alex Leatherwood. He's an offensive lineman out of Alabama.
A lot of people had him mocked at 31, if at all, in the first round.
Yeah, this ESPN had him ranked as the 60th overall player in the draft, which means they could have got him late second round. It reminds me a lot of when the Dolphins took Jawan James in the first round, right about the same spot, and he was ranked like 60th or so. This is a reach. There were reports after the draft that heads could roll in Las Vegas.
I want to say Oakland. I
almost said Oakland. I almost did it again. Because the draft room was split on it on this pick. So.
I bet Gruden has the final say.
Absolutely.
Besides Davis.
Mayock's a puppet. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
But they took Alex Leatherwood. Speaking of stuff kind of going down in a draft room, did you see the video of the Philadelphia Eagles? A senior scout was not happy with it wasn't the Devontae Smith pick. I think it was the second round pick. Where they caught it on camera where the GM, I think it was
Howie's a bomb. He's a bomb. I can't stand him.
Tried to give him a fist bump, and the scout was just shaking his head. And they had this really awkward confrontation on camera. It was hilarious, though.
Howie's a bomb. No, it was Howie who was shaking his head. The guy with silver hair, that's Howie. The other guy was like their draft guys. Howie's their GM, the guy with the silver hair. He's such a bum.
The GM has the final say. Why was he so upset?
I don't know.
Miami Dolphins were on the clock at 18. Took Jalen Phillips. Love this pick.
Yes.
I love their first 2 rounds. They had 4 picks, and I think they drafted 4 starters.
Denver was trying to call to get back in the first round if he fell in the 20s.
If he was into the 20s.
But he wasn't. So, yep.
Obviously, he played in the Dolphins' backyard at the University of Miami. He top pass rusher in the draft by a majority of scouting services. He has some injury issues, though, where he had to retire from football. He started his career at UCLA, had to retire from football because of his concussions. Went to Miami, was an absolute beast. I think I saw he had 14 career sacks in 15 games. He's a plug-and-play guy right away, 6'6", 260. He's powerful, high motor. Absolutely love this pick. Dolphins needed some edge rush help. Washington. Ooh, well, okay.
Yeah,
I almost said Redskins.
You got it.
Washington football team took inside linebacker Jamin Davis out of Kentucky.
I didn't know much about him until a day before the draft. I was reading about him. I was like, oh, don't have him mocked in the first round.
Went 19th. Don't have anything to add. They're losing. John Bostic was their leading tackler.
They're not going to be very good.
No, they're going to be real bad. New York Giants traded back with the Chicago Bears. Took Kadarius Toney.
This was a little of a reach.
Wide receiver out of Florida.
I mean, he's speedy. Don't get me wrong.
ESPN had him ranked as the 32nd overall player. Yeah. Of course, a lot of these teams, their draft board is completely different than what
I don't think it's secret. The Giants wanted DeVonta Smith at 11. Yes. And then that blew up, and then they just had to take one when they could get one.
And that's why the Eagles obviously jumped the Giants.
And the Cowboys obviously hate the Giants more than they hate the Eagles.
They were willing to do that.
Yeah.
He's dangerous, though. He's fast, explosive. Probably a little bit of a reach there, but Daniel Jones needed somebody to touch the ball for him.
Something.
Indianapolis Colts took Kwity Paye, defensive end out of Michigan. He really good pick. He didn't play a whole lot this past year, only had 2 sacks. Of course, Michigan dealt with some COVID issues throughout the year, so he didn't really have that many opportunities.
They had 8 guys drafted.
Really?
Yep. Ohio State was tied with the most with 10.
Why are they always so mediocre?
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's an example right there why Harbaugh's doing a bad job. They get tons of guys drafted every year, but yet they don't win more than they should.
They've never figured
out
as
much as they should.
Quarterback position. For one, Shea Patterson was pretty good, but other than that, who's been as good quarterback?
He was a 1 or 2 year guy from Ole Miss.
He was a 2 year guy out of Ole Miss, but he wasn't that good.
He can't keep quarterbacks. They all come in and transfer.
Yeah, I mean Brandon Peters is the only one I can think of, but McCaffrey was one that transferred out. He's gone.
Gardner gone.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and they just lost a guy this year that played quite a.
They did just have it might be the senior class upcoming, like the number 1 quarterback commit to Michigan.
Harbaugh, for playing offense, he's always been a defensive guy.
Yeah,
it's weird. But Kwity Paye can play a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's a good fit for the Colts.
Colts said he was their number 1 guy on the board, but like Josh said earlier, you don't know if their teams are just saying that or not. But he did say his mom's never got to work again. She can retire now. Cool. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep. Wish I had a son that would need an NFL baby. The Tennessee Titans took Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. Really good defensive back pick here. Nailed it.
Surprised he was still first rounder, to be honest, because I thought he was going to be one of the ones leading up to the draft. They were saying he's going to have knee surgery. He tests positive with COVID, blah, 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 so he might be falling second round. Came out his medicals. He's saying he doesn't need surgery, so they took him.
He's a big cornerback, 6'2", 200 pounds.
Sit out this past season.
Really good ball skills. Really good pick here by the Tennessee Titans. Minnesota Vikings with the boring offensive line pick, Christian Darrisaw, really good player.
They needed that, though.
They did. Kirk Cousins is still there, though they took Kellen Mond in the 3rd round to be some competition.
Kirk Cousins threw career-high 35 touchdowns last year.
He put up good numbers.
But
his team
fans
was
hate
just
him.
Awful.
But Kellen Mond, I was hearing some NFL experts say Jimbo Fisher's offense at Texas A&M is the most complex offense they've ever seen on any level of football.
Interesting.
And he was able to master it to where Jimbo would talk to him about game plans and stuff. So if he can do that, it should transfer over to the next level.
It was a pressing need for Minnesota, and they got good value there.
Yep.
So. Pittsburgh Steelers took a really good running back at Alabama, Najee Harris. Love that pick for them. I know the Dolphins were trying to trade back into the first round to take Najee Harris, but, I mean, he's put up huge numbers at Alabama. He's a beast. They needed a running back. James Conner's never been healthy, and he's not there anymore.
Is that Arizona?
I forget who their other guy was. He's a running back out of Kentucky. Anyway, Najee Harris is going to be their featured back. He's going to touch the ball a bunch. Great pick for Pittsburgh Steelers. Then Jacksonville Jaguars were on the clock and kind of surprised with their Travis Etienne pick. Obviously good value there at 25 because he was a projected kind of first-round guy. Super fast, catches the ball well out of the backfield. But they have James Robinson, who's a second-year player, who's a really good running back out of Southern Illinois. And they signed Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, I think he jumps Carlos Hyde right away.
Absolutely, he should.
But he and his buddy, Trevor Lawrence, reunited again.
It's tough when you're a team as bad as Jacksonville's been to take a running back in the first round when that's not a pressing need at all.
I thought they were going to go safety.
They should have probably gone safety, but here we are. Of course, Urban Meyer's used to losing to Travis Etienne in the playoff. Did they lose it? He lost to Clemson. Did he lose to Clemson?
When he was there at Ohio State?
I don't think so. Ryan Day did.
Yeah, Ryan Day did. Then Ryan Day beat him this year.
Yeah. The Cleveland Browns were on the clock. 2 Northwestern guys go in the first round. Greg Newsome II out of Northwestern.
Yep, first time ever. Northwestern's had 2 first-round picks.
They rarely have 1 first-round pick.
That's true.
But he fits a need for him. They have Denzel Ward there, but he can't stay healthy, and he's been pretty good. He can't stay healthy.
I saw their other 2 studs, Gallagher and Patty Fisher, both went undrafted, but they got picked up.
Did they?
It's wild how a lot of these Big Ten linebackers can be so darn good in college, but then they don't get drafted.
Yeah, they're always like the undersized.
Like their coach, Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah, and they just rack up a bunch of tackles, but they just don't fit in the NFL system. But Greg Newsome, good pick here by the Cleveland Browns. Another Big Ten boy, Minnesota. Rashad Bateman was taken by the Baltimore Ravens. They need some receiver help there for Lamar Jackson.
Now look at their offense. You got Lamar, you got J.K. Dobbins, you got Hollywood Brown, you have Bateman, and then Max Andrews, tight end.
Yeah.
Pretty good offense that should put up some points.
Should put up some points. So Rashad Bateman kind of had some drop issues this year. If I remember
and then he
correctly.
only played 5 games and opted out.
Did he end up opting out?
Yeah, he played 5 games and quit 2 or 3 games early.
He played against Purdue, didn't he?
Yeah.
He dropped a few balls, but he's fast. Good pick here by Baltimore, who had a need at wide receiver. The New Orleans Saints were on the clock, and they kind of reached with their pick, but again, they might have had him farther ahead on their draft board than the ESPN guys did. But they took Peyton Turner, defensive end, out of Houston.
Don't know much about him.
Don't know a thing about him. Never heard of him until Thursday night. He was ranked in the 70s on a lot of scouting boards. But you can never have too many pass rushers when you're having to rush.
They reach a lot on defensive linemen. Marcus Davenport a year or 2 ago.
He's been good, though.
Yeah, he has been. So that's all the coaching.
Green Bay Packers made quite a bit of news before the draft. It sure didn't help their case after the first round.
They're just digging their hole deeper and deeper and deeper. We could get a wide receiver to help our quarterback out. Nope, we're getting defensive back.
We're going to take Eric Stokes, a cornerback out of Georgia, who was a projected 2nd or 3rd round pick. The news all before the draft was that Aaron Rodgers is demanding a trade. He wants out. He wants to go to the West Coast. Denver Broncos were a team listed. Las Vegas Raiders team listed. San Francisco 49ers were the 3 teams on his list he wants to go to. He's needed wide receiver help for years. This is now, I was talking to a Packer fan over the weekend, huge Packer fan. He said they've taken defense in the first round 9 of the last 10 drafts.
Rodgers has only thrown 1 career touchdown to a guy they've taken in the first round. That was Mercedes Lewis.
Tight end, and he was taken by Jacksonville in the first round. They need change at the top. Problem is they don't have an owner that can go in there and
this general manager's taking over. He's the one who drafted Jordan Love, which just started this whole thing. Then they couldn't get a long-term deal done. It's going to be interesting a little bit less than a month from now, June 2nd, when his money goes down from $31 million to $18 million. Think that, well, of course they want to keep their franchise quarterback, but I think that's why they weren't real pressed to make a deal, because they were going to have to eat so much money then. I mean, the longer this drags out, it's going to be interesting. Both sides are going to dig their heels in.
Yes. They said the deal breaker or the moment things changed Aaron Rodgers was praising one of their third or fourth wide receivers, Jake Kumaro. And then the very next day, the Packers released Kumaro. And that was the end.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but Vegas isn't helping me. Making Denver's plus 200. Green Bay minus 150, Denver plus 200, then Vegas is next at plus 600. And since the Broncos acquired Teddy Bridgewater in a trade with the Panthers for a 6th-round pick last Wednesday, their odds have went over the weekend from 60-1 for the Super Bowl next year to 30-1. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't make it go up 30 spots.
Nope.
Which I'm not thrilled by that, but whatever. Him and Locke can compete unless they can get number 12 somehow.
And get rid of both of them.
That's fine by me. I don't care. Give up the whole draft.
The Buffalo Bills, who I think are the one team that had no real need at all.
Buccaneers didn't need anybody.
Yeah, Bucs didn't really need anyone either. Chiefs absolutely needed offensive line help, and they got it trading for Orlando Brown. But the Bills took Gregory Rousseau. Might as well just take a defensive end to rush passer.
He set out last year, 2020, so both their edge rushers, first-rounders.
The Baltimore Ravens were on the clock again. They got this in the trade for Orlando Brown. They traded him to Kansas City for their first-round pick and a few other picks. They took outside linebacker Odafe Oweh.
I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
Outside
Penn State
linebacker out of Penn State.
Linebacker U.
Already great defense there in Baltimore, and they just continue to do it every year. He's fast, physical, really good pick. And then, as we said, the team that didn't really have any pressing needs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, took outside linebacker Joe Tryon out of Washington. He's fast, long arms, great top-end speed is what they say.
The Buccaneers did kind of make headlines night 2 of the draft. Last pick of the second round, they took Kyle Trask, quarterback from Florida. They had been in communication with Brady. Brady was all for it. Whatever we can do to keep help the team make it better. So a little different communication down Tampa Bay than the other Bay up in Green Bay.
Yep, absolutely. Some interesting picks here. In the second round, we had Penn State boy Pat Freiermuth go to Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's going to be just like Heath Miller. Great pick.
Yep. He's going to catch a lot of balls there. That son of a gun team, Denver Broncos, jumped ahead of the Dolphins to take running back Javonte Williams. Dolphins need a running back.
He's a beast.
Had a great year at North Carolina. Could have snuck into the back end of the first round.
Denver
Dolphins
needed a backup running back.
On the clock, and he'll probably be the starter in 2022.
Yep.
Dolphins need a running back, but they ended up taking Javon Holland, safety out of Oregon, one of the best safeties in the draft. I think he opted out.
Yes.
So he'll probably be a plug-and-play guy as well. Kyle Trask, as you said, went to Tampa Bay. It'll be interesting to see how long Brady plays in Tampa and if Kyle Trask can be the guy to take over.
Yeah, 49th overall, Rondell Moore landed in the desert, Arizona. Great spot for him. That's going to be a fun to see him in that offense with Kyler Murray.
The Houston Texans took a quarterback in the third round. I wonder if that tells us anything about
I think it does.
Deshaun
I think it
absolutely
think it does.
Will he play a down of football this year?
No.
I 1,000% agree.
I'm not going to go out and say he'll never play down again, but I'm thinking this year, no.
I think it's a pretty safe bet to say right now that he will not
They've
play
picked up
this year.
3 quarterbacks. Ryan Finley, Tyrod Taylor, and
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills from Stanford.
Or a quarterback out of Stanford. 1,000% agree that he will not play this year. I know teams have started to not call them anymore about
you got to let it play out.
That was like the biggest storyline of the offseason is where's Deshaun Watson?
There was a report last week that before all this legal stuff, they were contacted by 8 teams.
Yeah, I believe it.
Interested in them. And they listed all those teams. So I forget the exact name.
Let's do a Deshaun Watson for Aaron Rodgers swap.
Even Aaron Rodgers couldn't help this Texans team.
No, he could not. They're going to be so bad.
Ian Book.
Yes, Ian Book,
round.
4th-round pick to New Orleans. He'll be backing up. Is Jameis going to be the starter?
I think he's going to be.
That'll be interesting.
I don't see Ian Book ever being a starter in the NFL, though.
No. Going back to Houston Texans, Lovie Smith is their defensive coordinator.
That's right.
And he said that he could not install his total defense when he was head coach at Illinois because teams just go 4 wide receiver all the time in college, and they don't do that in the NFL. That's all they do in the NFL. Do you imagine him playing?
He was a Super Bowl coach.
Yeah, 15 years ago.
I know, but that's
I
you have that much football knowledge and you say something like that.
And he hasn't changed the system, and he wonders why he's giving up 50 points a game. It's going to be so bad. They're going to be the worst team in the league.
Oh, yeah. They might win a game.
Wish the Dolphins had their first-round pick next year, too.
You guys had enough their picks. You got so much out of that Tunzel trade.
Man, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Unbelievable. Put a mask on again.
That really was the thing. Tunzel slides all the way down because he had the marijuana mask on, and it turned into 4 first-round picks for the Dolphins.
And Shane Ray falls down to Broncos. Nothing.
Thank you, Laramie Tunzel's stepdad, for being mad at him and putting that out there. Colts took a quarterback, Sam Ellinger, out of Texas.
They're not back. The Texas Longhorns.
I think who's their coach again?
Frank Reich.
No, I'm talking Texas. Sarkisian.
Steve
Sarkisian out of he was at Alabama.
Yeah.
I think he'll get them, and he has a much better chance to do it than Herman did. Tom Herman.
Everybody was high on Herman when he's hired, but didn't go so well.
It's a tough job out there.
Oh, absolutely tough job.
They're worse than Tennessee is anymore. You give them 2 years, and we're done with you.
Nebraska. Yeah. One other Purdue player did get drafted I want to mention real quick. Derek Barnes went 4th round to the Lions. So,
interesting.
Good spot for him. A spot I saw a lot of people projecting him to go to Detroit. But I wasn't sure about the 4th round, though. That was a little high.
Yeah. They have any undrafted free agents?
Yeah. Grant Herman's lineman went to the Jets. Tyler Coyle, who only played 3 games for Purdue, came from UConn this past year, but then set out the first few games because his girlfriend had a baby, COVID stuff. He went right after the draft was over, signed with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Neal, as far as I know, has not signed anywhere. Should have came back to school, but he would have been like 100. So he didn't. I mean, that was a guy 2 years ago that was projected first or second round,
pick, yeah.
and he just
he
got out of shape.
Yeah, he had. Was it him that had those real bad roughing the passer calls in against Northwestern?
He did have the one against Northwestern. There was another guy.
He did it a bunch. This guy did.
The other guy, he transferred to Florida State, and then he got kicked out there too. His name just. I'll think of it later. Yeah, he was only there a year.
Defensive lineman
Jones.
Seemed like he got a personal foul every single game.
Jones was his last name. Why can't I not think of his first name? But yeah. Do we have any Facebook comments before we move on real quick?
Dropped the ball on that. My apologies.
That's Josh's job.
You need to fire me from that job because I'm not doing a very good job.
Cornell Jones. I knew I could think of it off the top of my head if I thought about it. He cost me that Eastern Michigan game.
Was he one?
Yeah.
Thaddeus Mooney says, the way New England is built, playoffs with a rookie quarterback isn't a stretch. Think how Pittsburgh was built during Big Ben's rookie year.
They lost one game that year.
That's a good point there, Thad.
Yeah.
Good point. They absolutely could because, I mean, as we said,
I don't put anything past the Patriots anymore.
Signed a bunch of guys.
A bunch.
Yeah, they spent more money than they ever
tight ends.
have.
Hunter Henry and the other one's escaping me right now.
Jonnu Smith out of Tennessee.
Yep.
So.
Well, we'll move on to baseball real quick.
Sure.
Before I know we got On This Day and Word Association also.
Right.
But
so baseball this week, we had some bad news that happened. It was yesterday, I believe, for the Chicago White Sox. Luis Robert, or is it Robert? Luis Robert?
I didn't hear about this.
He tore his hip flexor, and he is out 3 to 4 months.
They've already been hit with the injury
bug,
man.
Their outfield is banged up. Eloy Jimenez is out for the season, it looks like. Robert, I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's Robert. Some people call it Robert, though. But he's out 3 to 4 months. He could be out for the entire season. Who the heck knows? But that was bad news for the White Sox, for a team that's, I mean, they've been playing pretty good baseball. They're 15-12. I know sounds like old Tony La Russa's shtick is already getting old within the clubhouse. Who could have seen that coming besides, everyone?
I'll take things I'm not surprised for 500, please.
500 points, Alex or Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he might just be the full-time Jeopardy host.
He might just retire.
He might retire.
He would owe the Packers $11 million, I think,
Jeopardy
this year if he did that. But
Jeopardy's got it covered.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Cubs are a bad baseball team. That's all I can really say about it.
Rizzo looks good on the mound.
Rizzo striking out Freddie Freeman. That was
funny.
That was a funny moment, good moment in the game where the Cubs were getting absolutely worked. Their pitching staff has they have an ERA over 5. Second worst in the National League. Bullpen's walking the world. Starting rotation, they have the worst rotation in baseball right now.
Thanks, Jed.
Thanks, Jed.
As he says on Twitter.
Starters ERA is absurdly high. They're not getting deep into ball games. They have the worst average innings pitched of their starting pitcher. I think their starters are only averaging like 4 1/3 innings so far this year. Only one guy's pitched into the 7th, and he didn't even record an out in the 7th. Absolutely pathetic. Their bullpen's horrendous. Walking guys, giving up homers. Craig Kimbrell's the only guy you can really trust out of that pen, and even he's kind of a roller coaster at times. And it just sucks that they're wasting a Chris Bryant season that's MVP worthy. He's the 4th most valuable player in Major League Baseball so far this year, position player. And the most valuable player in the National League. He's at .323 with a .405 on base percentage, .708 slugging percentage. He had 9 homers so far this year, and he has 10 doubles. He just won National League Player of the Week, where he hit over 400 and hit 4 homers. This past week, he is on pace to have such a better year than he did even in 2016 when he did win the MVP, and they're just wasting it. It is pathetic. If I'm the Cubs, I might think about seeing what they can get for Chris Bryant right now.
That's what I'm thinking. At least he's getting their value.
He could get an insane haul right now. And this
maybe by June.
Yeah, seriously, by at least the All-Star break, I think we'll start ratcheting up the trade talks because the team's not good enough. They're not going to be in the playoffs. It's such a weird position for me this year. I'm used to them competing every year. They've made the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years. Even the year they didn't make the playoffs, they were right in it till the final week. This year, I don't care. I'm just sitting here. I'm watching the games. I didn't even watch it this weekend, but I'm watching the games. Don't really care if they win or lose. It's just a weird feeling not to be watching a competitive baseball team right now. They're already 5 games out of first place. Don't see it getting any better. I think the rotation should get better because Kyle Hendricks is not nearly as bad as what he is now. Neither is Zach Davies. But again, they have to start pitching eventually. And their schedule's not going to do them any favors here either. They're playing the Dodgers for 3 this week.
Ooh.
Got rained out tonight, so they're playing a 7-inning doubleheader tomorrow. This will be the J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week. Cubs will get swept by the Los Angeles Dodgers. There's no doubt in my mind. They have to face Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, Trevor Bauer. They're gonna get swept. They're gonna be so far out of it already, and I'll be doing anything other than watching Cubs baseball. But you know me, I'll still be watching.
Tweets will still come.
Tweets have been few and far between this year.
And they've been good. They've been good content when
yes,
you've done them.
Because when they're playing bad, I tend to make myself feel better by being funny. But the J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week is brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Travis Wottring for life, home, auto, renters, business, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.wottring@infb.com. He is selling insurance in Ohio, and he has an app that you can...
He's playing golf down in Florida with Golf Channel analysts.
You can go check out. Yeah, he's living the life.
Played with Jason Sobel, and who we've had on the Tan and J-Man show in the past, and then he played with, or not played with, but hung out with Todd Lewis of the Golf Channel over the weekend. So
he knows some famous people.
He knows some people.
Some other baseball news. One of the Dodgers' top starters, Dustin May, is out for the season. He's having Tommy John surgery. He has nasty stuff. That's a blow to their rotation. They've been one of the worst teams in baseball here over the past couple weeks. I think they've lost 3 out of their last 13 games or so. So they're not playing well. San Francisco Giants are leading that division.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw that last night.
At 17-11. Kansas City Royals still leading the AL Central.
Yankees are starting to play better. They needed to last week with who was on their schedule.
They're back to 500, only 2.5 games out. I think they'll be right there.
The pitching's starting to crank up. Stanton's hitting, getting some guys back from injury. So they took advantage of that weak opponents. They got the Astros coming in this week. That'll be a fun series in New York.
Yeah, Houston's sitting there at 15-13. Obviously, it's still a pretty good
They don't like
team.
each other.
No, they do not. From the whole from the whole sign stealing gate.
Yeah, there'll be. I hope some people bring some fake trash cans and stuff this week.
I hope so. We haven't been able to get a good fan reaction on the Astros since it happened.
Yeah.
The American League East is bad.
That's not good. No.
I think the Braves will end up running away with it, but they're sitting there at 12 and 16 right now.
NL East, you mean?
NL East, yeah. Sitting there only 2 games back at 12 and 16, so I think they'll be pretty good. But
yeah, a lot of tight races going on in divisions right now. It's only a month in.
Detroit's already 9.5 behind Kansas City.
Write them off.
Rockies are 7 out.
Write them way off.
Rangers are only 4 out. They're kind of hanging in there. Cubs are 5 out. Other than that, though, Twins are already 6 out.
That's surprising. That's early.
They're really hitting the ball well. They're just not pitching so far. But that's all I really got baseball-wise this week.
Well, while we got a break before we move on to another segment, let you know that the Tan and J-Man Show is brought to you by Circle 15 Golf. Circle 15 Golf is a brand focused on bringing tour quality products and experience to the everyday golfer, like the J-Man and myself. They're built on 25 years of tour experience, featuring the Genesis glove, the most durable and comfortable glove available, and the patented Glove Hub, the first and only glove humidor on the market. You can find these products in more details at circle15golf.com. You can also get hats, divot repair tools, ball markers, and much, much more. So I love wearing my Genesis every round I'm out there, and love using my Glove Hub. So I recommend you going and checking out the product, circle15golf.com.
This episode is also brought to you by The Damn Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, Damn Landing is the place to be. Located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester, a beautiful Lake Manitou, focuses on freshness and quality. The Damn Smoke is here every single weekend, which features barbecue and steaks. In addition, you can wash it down with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking the fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area, whether it be boat or wheels, the Damn Landing is the place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester.
Karaoke's back at 9 o'clock on Friday nights.
Tanner's going to be singing some Neil Diamond for you out there every Friday night. So
J-Man's got the golden pipes. Tan and J-Man Show Nation knows.
Watch
Tanner a couple of years ago when he belted some Frank Sinatra.
Yes, sir. Fly me to the moon.
Yep.
Wouldn't mind going to the moon right now. Get off this godforsaken planet.
You ready to get educated?
I always am.
Sports events that have happened on May 3rd. A lot of Kentucky Derby stuff.
Yeah, Kentucky Derby was played over the weekend.
Was held.
Ran.
On this day in 1910, the Intercollegiate Athletic Association of the United States is renamed to the National Collegiate Athletic Association, the NCAA.
Interesting.
On this day in 1936, New York Yankee Joe DiMaggio made his major league debut. Got 3 hits in his debut.
He was a pretty dang good, pretty good player there.
Sure was. Let's see. Like I said, a lot of Kentucky Derby. On this day in 1970, the 24th NBA championship, the 24th NBA champion was crowned. Who won it? 1970.
What was it?
NBA champion, 1970.
I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics.
The New York Knicks beat the Lakers 4-3. On this day in 1977, who did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take as the first pick overall in the NFL draft?
1977, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Have I heard of this guy?
I don't know. Ricky Bell.
Never heard.
From USC. I hadn't heard of him, but I didn't know. Maybe you had. On this day in 1979, MLB Cleveland Indian Bobby Bonds hit his 300th homer, second to have 300 homers and 300 stolen bases at that time.
Wow. His son was pretty good.
Yes, he was. On this day in 1980, Giants first baseman Willie McCovey hit his 521st and final home run.
Yeah, they have McCovey Cove out there named after him.
Yep.
Where Bobby Bonds' son deposited a bunch of baseballs in his career.
Yes, once again, this is a weird one. On this day, 1986, New York Yankee Don Mattingly is 6th person to hit 3 sacrifice flies in a game.
That's a nice stat there. Contact is paramount in those situations, and Donnie Baseball could do it.
On this day in 1992, New York met Eddie Murray was the 24th player to hit 400 home runs.
He played a long time.
Sure did. Mm-hmm. On this day in 2018, Atlanta Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan became the NFL's first $30 million per season player after agreeing to a $150 million contract extension.
Has it been worth it?
Did give him the Super Bowl, but that was after that. That was before this contract, though.
He has not been worth it since.
No, they had to do it though at the time, or they're going to be backed up before they drafted him. So. That's all I got for on this day because all the rest, all the rest was there was a ton of Kentucky Derby, and I knew you weren't going to know that, and I didn't want to start and stop there. So, but the on this day segment is brought to you by, I better get up here, Proforma Printhouse. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Proforma Printhouse has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company by giving them a call today at 574-210-3815.
Got some word association for me?
You know I do. All right. I wrote it down. Well, the Kentucky Derby was held over the weekend. So I thought we would go from the winning horse clear to the last place horse. Got 19 horse names here. Horse names.
Oh, boy.
The Kentucky Derby winning horse, Medina Spirit.
Fast.
As he can't use that for every single one of these. Number 2, I think this is how you pronounce it. Mandalon. It's almost like Mandalorian, but I don't think it's Mandalorian. It's Mandalon, I think. I don't know.
Nice hooves on it.
Nice set of hooves. Hot Rod Charlie.
Love the name. Reminds me of Hot Rod the movie.
That's exactly what I thought you might bring up. Hot Rod the movie. What a classic. The favorite, who ended up getting 4th, Essential Quality.
Disappointment.
Number 5, O Bezos.
Amazon.
I think that's how you pronounce that. If not, that's how I wanted to pronounce it to throw you that bone there. Midnight Bourbon.
Midnight Bourbon. Good time. Seems like a good time.
Keep Me in Mind.
I don't want to.
Helium.
High voice. Give some horse a helium. Some helium.
I wish I had a balloon down here and you could have sucked on some helium there. Known Agenda.
Known Agenda. I got nothing. Nothing. Literally nothing popped in my head when you said
unknown.
Unknown Agenda?
No, known, but you could have said unknown.
Unknown. Okay.
I don't know.
I screwed it up.
Highly Motivated.
Definitely not me.
Sainthood.
Sainthood?
Yep.
Sister Jean in her insufferableness.
Man, that was the first Loyola Chicago poll we've had since that.
I was going to say,
game.
I don't know why sainthood made me think of a nun, but it did.
Like the King.
King George III.
Good poll. Bourbonic.
French fries. I don't know. I started thinking about French fries because I saw.
Hey, whatever comes to your mind.
First We Feast put out this charcuterie board, but it was just a bunch of different types of French fries and all these dipping sauces.
Whatever comes to mind. I'm not going to judge. This is the most outlandish list we've had of word association. Hidden Stash.
Oh, nice mustache. Nice 1970s mustache.
Brooklyn Strong.
Biggie Smalls.
Superstock.
The Show Superstore.
Rock Your World.
Skipping Rocks.
Dynamic One.
Obviously not a very good racer, finishing that far down. You call yourself the Dynamic One.
And
Come on.
The last place horse, Soup and Sandwich.
ran about as fast as me after I eat a soup and sandwich.
I don't think I've ever seen you eat soup in your life.
I hate soup. Love sandwiches, though.
And that is this week's Word Association, brought to you by Rhett Lee, attorney at law. Rhett Lee and the law office of Andrew McKee LLC are located at 206 4th Street in Logansport, Indiana. Rhett provides legal services to the people of North Central Indiana and practices criminal defense, family law, and personal injury. If you need a lawyer who cares about your results and will fight for you, call him today to schedule a free consultation at 574-722-2221.
Got anything else before I get into Birdie Bogey?
LeBron James, see what he said earlier today or yesterday?
That the person that decided it'd be a good idea to have this playing game deserves fired. I think it's stupid.
And last March, he tweeted about how he wanted a play-in to happen. So that's...
What's wrong with that guy?
Yeah. Oh, and before I forget, before the Birdie Bogey, you can go and buy yourself some Tan and J-Man Show merch. And you will find
all sorts of stuff.
Nikola
Jokic ranks top 5 in points, rebounds, and assists this season. Who were the only other 2 players to have done this? Top 5 in points, rebounds, and assists.
Points, rebounds, and assists. Wow. I'm really thinking bigger guy, probably. Hey, the assist is where it's tripping me up here. Mm-hmm. I don't think this guy got enough rebounds.
I'll give you a little bit of a hint. One of these guys is not considered a big guy.
I don't think I got this right, but I'm going to take a step. Larry Bird?
No. You have one more shot to get a par.
Oscar Robinson?
You get a bogey.
Yeah, I didn't think he had the rebounds, but...
Wilt Chamberlain did it 3 times.
I wouldn't have guessed he got the assist.
Yeah, I was actually watched like a breakdown video of his game last week, and he was averaging I think it was 30 shots a game his first 5 or 6 years, but then he decided to change his game and only averaged 15 shots a game because he wanted to get more assists.
Rebounds and points, sure. But
the other one that was tough was Elgin Baylor. He's the guy that's always a good trivia question answer, but no one ever thinks of him. He's obviously a legend.
Magic Johnson came to my mind.
Mm-hmm. When I saw it first, I was thinking maybe Russell Westbrook because he got the triple-double this season. But
when you said not a big guy, I thought maybe him. But Larry just came to my mind because...
That was a good guess because he racked up assists. Yeah.
So, darn it. What's that put me? I'm on plus now. One over now.
You're only 1 up on me.
Really? Man, I've choked away this lead.
Look, Josh just got crushed.
Pulling a Keegan Bradley to what he did in my DraftKings account over the weekend.
Still betting on golf.
He had to leave after day 1. I put $10 on him. He had to leave clear till Sunday. Back 9 killed him. Didn't win nothing.
Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show live on the ISC Sports Network. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back at it next Monday.